Hey, so what's going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and I know this is probably a bit strange. I'm in a different location in my apartment than I normally am. Yeah, I decided that I kind of wanted some space to show you all a few things, because I could have made a commentary out of this, and I don't know how the reverb's going to be because I'm in like a really enclosed space and talking out there, but hopefully a new mic will help out. But this was kind of something that I wanted to talk about, because I thought about today. I was going to upload another type video, but I was like, I kind of want to talk about this, honestly. This is something I've really been thinking of in the back of my head and everything, and I need a table space, which I'll show you all in a bit. I could have made a commentary about it, I decided not to. And these are going to be my thoughts on what's happened, you know, with kind of the inevitable death, so to speak, of the Wii U. And there's a few reasons why I'm going to say that. Now, up until now, quite a few people have asked me, Mr. Mario, what do you think of the NX specs? What do you think of this with the Wii U? What do you think of that? First off, I'll say, my current experience with the Wii U, it's probably my favorite 8th generation console. I think it's a good console, I really do. A lot of people might be shocked to hear that, and trust me, it's not because my name is Mr. Mario, it's because I've had a lot of fun with this system, and I think the games that have come out for it have been really good. The problem is, I don't really play on it that much. If anything, like out of my systems, the Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U, I've played on the PS4 the most. But I would still say that the Wii U is my favorite system out of all of them. As I said, like it has its issues, and I acknowledge that, but it is what it is. Kind of like in the 7th generation of systems, I fully acknowledge the Xbox 360, it was probably my favorite system of that generation, but it also had a lot of software and hardware issues and other things that I did not agree with. So I'll just put that out there as well too. But up until now, when people have asked me about the NX stuff, I haven't answered it, and I've just said rumors are rumors. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, kind of my thoughts on it and everything here and there, but this is not supposed to be an NX video. This is going to be about the Wii U. So in case anyone doesn't know, recently, about 1 or 2 days ago, there was a Japanese magazine that had talked with a source that said that the Wii U was going to cease production by the end of 2016. Apparently there's been quite a few shortages, that's what the word, there were quite a few shortages in Japan on the Wii U, and there hasn't really been any talk of restocking or fixing up these shortages. And you kind of see there's really not that much support, like software-wise, for the Wii U. Yeah, I mean, it has its good games and everything, but it doesn't even have shovelware if you think about it. Like, even the shovelware on it is quite minimal, which is not even a good sign with that either. I mean, even the 3DO had its fair share of shovelware and porn games. Granted, it was an easy enough system to develop for, and it really didn't have much of an entry cost to get in, but still, a system that didn't do too well had a lot more games out in a variety maybe than the Wii U at this point. I need to actually see a number for that, but it's kind of where we're at with this. So this is one thing. A lot of people might say, oh, the Wii U is a great system, you're talking trash on it. I'm not talking trash on it, I'm stating facts right here. Financially, this system is a failure. It's sold poorly, it doesn't have very good support. I'm not saying it's a bad system. As I said, it's my favorite system. I'm not saying the games are bad. I've enjoyed the games that I've purchased on it. But it is a failure on paper. And that is why recently as well too, when Nintendo came out and said, whoa, hold on, we're not doing the shortage thing, like we're not ceasing production, I don't really buy it. Because one, this source, we don't really know where they're from, but they're from Nintendo. But honestly, if you look at the past, you're going to see that this is kind of a commonplace type thing. You saw after the Wii came out, or even right before the Wii came out, people were saying, well, Nintendo was saying, oh, hey, we're going to still support the GameCube. They dropped that thing like a hot potato. Like, after the Wii came out, they had no reason to support the GameCube at all. It was kind of, oh, well, you can get this $50 console, or why would you get this the old system, just get the Wii. If you get a GameCube, that's fine, we're not going to support it, we're not going to put out any games for it. That's it. And the same thing happened going from the Wii to the Wii U. Nintendo was saying that they were going to support the Wii, and it would have been, you know, interesting to see, because the Wii sold exceptionally well. And that's mostly because it wasn't gamers that were buying it. Everyone was buying the Wii. That's why it did so well. That's why it was such a runaway success, as many people say. But what ended up happening with the Wii was after the Wii U came out, they dropped support on the Wii. You saw, they said, we're going to be killing off the eShop on there, we're going to kill off Virtual Console, all that stuff. They stopped putting out software updates for that as well too. Then even the other iteration they made, the last iteration of the Wii they made, which was the Wii Mini, They didn't have internet, it didn't have SD card support, it didn't have GameCube support, nothing like that. You just got a offline stock basic Wii. That was it. It looked cool. I mean, I'll say that I never bought one, and that was another thing, it really didn't do that well. But that kind of leads into another thing. I had seen something online where some people were talking about, and this is just speculation, of course, but some people were saying, well, maybe Nintendo's putting out a revised version of the Wii U, like the Wii U Mini, or something like that, or like the Diet Wii U, I don't know, because that's also feasible as well too. But from what I'm seeing with the rumors coming out, with the timeline, and if you think about it, it's gonna kind of shock a few people. Because we normally think of 2013 when we think of the 8th generation of game systems, but this system this year is going to be 4 years old. This came out in 2012. Near the end of this year, it's going to be 4 years old. That's about 3.5 years. And a lot of people here, I'm assuming, you know, if you're watching, you might be older, you might be younger, but I know a lot of people might be around my age. I'm 22 right now, and there's probably going to be people who might be, I don't know, 14, 15, 16. As I said, some people might be older, some people might be younger, but a lot of these people might be absolutely shocked that Nintendo wants to drop support so early due to the fact that they're used to really long life cycles for systems, because the 7th generation of game systems lasted quite a while. That's where Sony unveiled their 10-year plan. That's where the PS3, they said they were going to support that for 10 years. I mean, they're still supporting that right now. The Xbox 360 as well, too. We really had AAA titles on that up until 2015. And then the Wii lasted, I would say, a good amount on there as well, too, just because it sold so well. It came out in 2006, and the successor to it came out in 2012, so still about 6 years about pushing it for Nintendo. But that's how it was, and it's not only a gaming type thing, and one big reason was the recession, when a lot of people, if a $400 system broke, they couldn't afford another $400 system, so we just kind of had to wait it out and wait it out and wait it out. And then it got to the point that PC gaming became easier to use and easier to adapt to, and then that kind of happened as well too, and that skyrocketed. So it got to the point where normally when we get a new system, it's better, if you get it at launch, it's like better or equal to anything you'd get on the PC market. By the time you know the new systems came out, they were pretty weak. But going back to this thing right here, I've tried to make a video on this several times, and it's just never come to fruition, but I'm going to talk about my thoughts on it here. Now, some of my friends back when I was in middle school, in 2006, they were really excited to get the Wii. And I remember one of my best friends, I think in 2007, 2008, something like that, this is back when we used MSN, he's talking to me on there, he's like, hey, have you heard of the Wii 2? Well, have you heard about the leaked specs with the Wii 2? Granted, all this was rumor, okay? All this was rumor. It was middle school, high school type stuff. He's like, did you hear about the leaked specs with the Wii U? Not Wii U, Wii 2 is what we were calling it. And I said, no, I haven't. And he's like, oh, dude, it's going to be really awesome. So the next version of the Wii 2, it's supposed to have HDMI out. It's supposed to have true HD graphics. It's going to have PS3 level graphics. You know, PS3 or better is what they were touting on there. It's going to be so much more powerful. It's going to have all this other crazy stuff as well. I think another thing he was mentioning on there was, well, better online. There was something else he was mentioning. I don't remember what it was. Either way, they were all rumors. And that's what, super realistic motion controls. You could still use motion controls on here, but essentially, aside from the super realistic motion control thing, that's what this is. If you think about it. It's more power, because I'll even have the systems right here. Let me bring them out. Now I have the systems out here, as you can see, but what is the Wii U? If we look at it architecture-wise, it uses PowerPC. This thing uses PowerPC. This also has a split RAM issue, which I did not like. But you know what else has that? The PS3. They probably drew inspiration from that. And it has the motion controls that the PS3 also had. So, you know what? That's what we got. We got the Wii 2 is what we were referring to it as at that point in time. But the Wii 2 was really just kind of these systems, but more powerful, and it had the stuff that we were wanting in the Wii or the Wii 2. But why didn't it do that well? I could say that it came out a little too late, but then thinking about it, if we asked for all that stuff when we got the system in like 2010, I'm not sure how well it would have done. I could say, oh yeah, it didn't have proper support. You could see they tried to do several things, because I think Nintendo didn't really know what happened with the Wii. The Wii just exploded. Everyone loved it. And they tried to do some things here on the Wii, like on the Wii U. Like you'll see, for example, I have a few games here, as you can see in all these stacks, to kind of talk about what I'm trying to mention here. So we have, Yoshi's Woolly World, Splatoon, Hyrule Warriors. Now, 2 of these games are already known. You have Link right here from The Legend of Zelda. You have Yoshi, of course, Yoshi, people know Yoshi. And then a new IP. They were trying new stuff on here that would be Nintendo-centric, kid-friendly. They did the whole HD re-release thing with Wind Waker, and they also did Twilight Princess. This is actually pretty disappointing. The performance on it, not good. Not what you would expect from an HD re-release, but that's a whole other thing. They tried to capture the mature audience as well, too. They had Bayonetta 2, and this game would not have happened if it weren't for Nintendo. That's a fact right there. They were the only ones who were willing to cash it and fund it. Black Ops 2, they tried to do the Call of Duty thing on there, and Zombie U, which I enjoyed that game as well. They did the mature thing. And then, of course, they had the staples in there. They had the Mario game. They had the Smash Bros. Game. They had a Mario Party game. Again, a lot of Mario stuff. They had the Kart Racer. You probably noticed that Zelda's kind of missing from here. Yeah, because we've only gotten HD re-releases of Zelda games that we've played on the GameCube. There's still no original Zelda game is what I'm trying to say. But really with the timing of everything, with the newer NX specs being leaked out, with this new rumor as well too, saying that Nintendo was ceasing production, even if let's say it might have been a lie, or let's say it's going to be, a revised version of the Wii U, people don't have confidence in this anymore. I really think that it has sold what it can. Because it's been on the market for about 3 years. Really the only things that are going to have people stick by it are like Star Fox Zero, and I don't think Star Fox Zero is going to push many consoles, and the only other thing is going to be a Zelda Wii U release, which if they do it late enough, they might do what they did with Twilight Princess, where they released it on the GameCube and the Wii. So we might see that. We might see the same Zelda game on the Wii U and on the NX, but the NX version might just look a little prettier, might be a little bit modified, or it's going to have, those NX-specific features. But the thing is, we also don't know what the NX is. Nintendo said, oh, we're still going to have the Wii U alongside it. I don't believe that. And they've also said it's not going to be a game system, it's going to be a whole new experience type thing. I don't know what they're doing with this. But Nintendo just hasn't done well. They haven't sat well with gamers this generation, unfortunately. It's because of stuff like that. It's because they haven't had the proper third-party things. It's because they did not really know what they were doing. They seem kind of misguided. They've paid more attention to amiibos, and it feels like they've paid to actual games themselves. A lot of people didn't really want this gamepad right here. They just want a normal-ish console to play with. As I said, the Wii was complete opposite of that, but it is what it is. Like, it did well because gamers didn't buy it. Everyone bought it. That's what I keep saying on this. Sorry, gamepad. Now, this is another thing I wanted to show you all as well, too. I hate the name. You're going to see I'm bringing out the original Nintendo right here. I'm going to just go in a little bit of a timeline from left to right. Oldest system and newest system from what I have. So I have the Nintendo right here, the Nintendo Entertainment System. I promise I'll make my point here. This system, it was snuck in. The funny thing is, this was not sold as a game system. At the time, people hated video games for a multitude of different reasons, mainly the video game crash. So this was originally bundled with Rob the Robot. That was extremely faulty, and it was sold as a toy and an entertainment system. But when people got mad that the Rob the Robot didn't work, they realized this thing's actually pretty cool. So you know what came after that? The Super Nintendo, or if you're, overseas or anything, the Super Famicom. You know what came after that? The Nintendo 64. We have that sitting there. I don't think I have enough table for this. What came after the Nintendo 64? The GameCube. Alright, so we're still doing pretty well. Now this thing, extremely successful. This thing, extremely successful. This thing, nostalgic. The reason why I say nostalgic is because this also had quite a few issues with third-party developers and didn't sell as well as people would think it did. Now, a lot of people are probably going to pull numbers and say, Mr. Mario sold this many millions and all that. Yeah, but people like this system because of the nostalgia behind it. A lot of people, and I will say it is a great system, but the architecture of it, the way Nintendo handled third-party support, all this other stuff, it wasn't Wii U bad, but it still wasn't great. Then you go over to the GameCube where they were trying to kind of do the, hey, let's do this for everyone. We're going to make a console for gamers, by gamers, all that stuff. They kind of tried to do the Wii U here, and again, this system didn't do that well. So then, what came after that? Let's go ahead and move this over. The Wii. We'll just kind of slide that in there. I do have enough table. The Wii came out after that, and after that, the Wii U. What's the point I'm trying to make here? Not that Nintendo hasn't always done well with, third party or anything like that. Not that they used to be good. I'm not trying to say anything like that. Let's just rattle off the names. This one thing that really killed the system. Nintendo Entertainment System. That establishes everything. Super Nintendo. People knew about this system. Nintendo 64. So people say, okay, this is a whole new, revolution and everything. I'll get to that in a bit. This is a whole new revolution. This is a whole new system, right? After that, GameCube. Oh, that's something new again. All right. The Revolution, aka the Wii, the Revolution sounded cool. Then the Wii came out, had a killer advertising campaign, came with a free game. It was cheaper. They did so many things right on this, even though it's not a true gamer system. Then the Wii U. The problem with the naming scheme there is that with previous systems, Nintendo was able to annotate easily, just from the name, that this is the successor to this. This is the successor to this. This and this are different. The Wii U, I'll tell you what a lot of people still might even think what it is. This. A lot of people think this is the Wii U. Now, some people might be laughing. They're like, Mario, there's no one that stupid. I'm not saying they're stupid, but the thing is, you watching this video, I making this video, other people as well, people who probably subscribe to the channel, they're the ones that know about this stuff. And they are the minority in this. The majority of people don't really know about that. You know what a lot of people thought the Wii U was? Because it was poorly advertised, because the gamepad was the main focus of it, which I can understand that. But people thought, I'm not kidding, because it sounds strange and hilarious at the same time, but people thought that you buy a Wii, and then, after a few years, 2012, the Wii U comes out, you buy this tablet controller, right? And this thing, right here, you sync it up to the original Wii, and after you do that, it acts as an add-on so that you can play new games and better games on the gamepad itself, and that you'll have somehow better upgraded graphics. And yeah, people thought this was an add-on for the Wii, because Wii to Wii U. There was nothing that signified this was a brand new system. The Wii 2 would have been a great system. You reuse the Revolution name, the Nintendo Revolution, that would have been neat as well too. The Super Wii, anything like that, but no, this, the name really killed it. And that's why I took the past few minutes to annotate this right here, because that was something that majorly killed it. And it's just now that people are realizing, the past now or even a year or so, that this is the Wii U. Not this. This is the controller for the Wii U. This is the console. This thing does not connect to this thing. But really, I have to say, I am disappointed that the Wii U, it's going to, it might cease production here soon. This is essentially the end of it, kind of. And another reason why I'm really convinced of this is because the past year, people have been talking about the death of the Wii U. There's been so many new Nintendo system rumors. There's been new NX rumors coming out. There's been, as I said, this big rumor that I'm making an entire video about, which is ceasing the production of this console right here. There's been so many rumors like that, in my opinion, the people that don't care about the system aren't going to buy it, and the people that do care about the system, either they have it already and they're not going to get rid of it, or they don't have one and they don't plan on buying one. Unless it's going to be in the next few years, where it definitely does not have any type of support. Because if anything has shown anything, Nintendo does not support their old systems very well. This thing was not backwards compatible. This thing was not backwards compatible. This thing was not backwards compatible. This thing right here, I have a system with GameCube ports. Later on, they removed the GameCube ports. And then this thing right here, this probably has the best backwards compatibility, honestly. The Wii U. It plays every Wii game. That was the first system that really did backwards compatibility properly with the other systems. The reason why I don't say the Wii in this case is because later on, they did remove the GameCube part from this system. But now the interesting thing behind all this is that it's not just people like me who are making a video. Now you're actually getting to the point where you see a lot of diehard Nintendo fans that are like, okay, Nintendo, you kind of screwed up with all this stuff. We need something awesome from the NX. We need something to turn around the Wii U maybe. 3DS is still doing exceptionally well. And one thing they were able to do with that was they were able to drop the price and produce some kick-ass games on there. And you'll see, if you just look up, upcoming Nintendo-based games, really almost every interesting or good-looking Nintendo exclusive game coming out is going to be on the 3DS. Now, you all know I've made some 3DS content, and honestly, I don't play on the 3DS that much because I'm not as big of a portable person as I used to be. I'd rather play on a console or I'd play on my PC. That's the thing. I'd rather have, a big screen, an actual controller, all that stuff, but that's a whole nother issue right there. The thing I'm talking about right here is Nintendo's kind of lack of support with the Wii U, and I think it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. My advice on this, really, if you really want to get a Wii U, might kind of have to wait and see the next few months. I honestly can't advise buying one at this point. Because the thing is, if you buy one now, which is still like, what, $300 or so, something like that, unless you get a really good sale or a really good deal on one. Also, Nintendo has them refurbished for $200. That's a pretty good deal if you really want a Wii U and you want some killer apps on there. But with that, I can't advise getting one. Due to the fact that they might say tomorrow, they might say in 2 months, yeah, we're going to stop showing this. And we're going to stop supporting this. And when they stop supporting this, they're going to stop supporting it hard. I guarantee probably whenever this new system comes out, as I said, they already claimed that they are going to support the Wii U whenever NX comes out. I don't believe that. You're telling me the company is going to support 3 systems. The 3DS, and it's like 80 different variants, the Wii U, and the NX. Because from what I see, the NX is kind of going to be a pseudo-console-based thing, and people aren't going to be able to tell the difference. If you try and market the NX as something different than a console, people will not tell the difference. The general public is not going to tell the difference on that. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. We really don't know. It's all speculation on there. But then even I kind of want to address that a little bit because people have asked what I think of the NX stuff. I don't know. I really don't. I've heard that it's going to be somewhere, but power-wise, somewhere between the Xbox One and the PS4, which is good, I guess. But I don't think this is going to be an 8th generation system. It's going to be maybe a 9th generation system. And again, that's what this thing was right here. That's why I brought the 360 and the PS3 out. The Wii U sits somewhere between them or a little bit above them. We've seen that already. We have already seen that happen right there. We've also seen a console that has done, less well than its predecessors. Like, this thing couldn't even put out HD. Highest it did was 480p, which is just progressive standard definition. And this thing right here was about, on par-ish with the PS. It was somewhere between the PS2 and the Xbox. So I've seen that plenty of times. And that's not good. You shouldn't base your upcoming system on current systems. That's never a good idea. Unless, again, you have another Wii moment where this thing explodes. Because, again, gamers did not buy it. Everyone bought it. And it's rare that that happens. And kind of one final thing with this, with Nintendo as a whole, I know they're doing well. I'm just one person who's sitting at a small table with a bunch of game consoles, and what do I know, because I'm not CEO there or anything like that. I'm not trying to give them advice. But they've done well enough that they have so much money in the bank, they're good. Their next 5 consoles can fail, and it's not going to affect them. Did they advertise this poorly? Yes. Did it not do as well sales-wise and support-wise? Yes, that's true. But they had great success with the Wii. They've had great success with the 3DS after changing up a few things. I still think this thing needs to drop in price even more. But you can even see, with their most recent games, I know, the most recent Metroid Prime game, the most recent the most recent Paper Mario game, people aren't happy with those. It's getting to the point people are not happy with the core infrastructure of these games coming out. People aren't happy that there's not a new Zelda that they can play. Just people are getting upset at this stuff, and you're upsetting now the core Nintendo fan base. If you lose them, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know how well Amiibos can keep everyone afloat. I don't know who thought of the Amiibo thing. That blows my mind how it's done so well. It's pretty much the Nintendo version of Beanie Babies, but that's not going to keep them afloat forever. But then again, as I said, they are doing extremely well, but I know they want to continue this console type thing. And I know they're probably sitting here pondering, what can we do with this? Can we make it easier to develop for? Well, we've tried doing that with some other systems. Can we make, diversify the games? Can we bring in a more mature audience? What can we, because honestly, I don't know. I don't know what Nintendo can do. That's the problem. Not just me, I'm not saying I can save them, but I also don't think that Nintendo really knows what they can do either. They can make a kick-ass game console. They can make really good games for it. They can diversify all that, but is it going to sell as well as it did? I don't know. I also don't think Nintendo should really change themselves completely. They don't have to go the whole super mature, Uncharted, Halo-based genre or anything like that. They don't need to do that. I don't think they need to compete with the other systems. Some people are saying, yes, they need to compete. I don't think so, because Nintendo kind of has their own audience, their own core, and they need to make sure that that core audience, that interest does not wane. They need to make sure that they're not getting upset, and right now, the core audience, they're not liking Nintendo that much with what they're doing with all their decisions. Now, is this a goodbye video to the Wii U? Is this a rant video about it? Is it a rant video about Nintendo? Is it an NX speculation? I don't know. And I think a lot of people don't really know what to do at this point, because even I myself, I look at these new systems, not just the Nintendo stuff, also the Xbox and the PlayStation, and I'm like, honestly, compared to the previous predecessor, yeah, it's more powerful, but that's about it. I'm not seeing anything that really impresses me anymore. And I don't know if that's just kind of me being cynical or me being older or what it is, but it seemed like systems used to have a lot more oomph, prior to this. And I'm not seeing it anymore. Nintendo tried to do something really cool with this, and it didn't do that well. And it's disappointing to see. But I also mentioned at the beginning, or near the beginning of this video, that this system right here is coming on to 4 years old. The reason why that's important is because if you look at previous Nintendo systems, aside from dropping support or anything like that, they come out every few years. And I think by latest is really pushing it, 2017, we're going to see a new piece of Nintendo hardware. Now, a lot of people might be saying, oh no, it's going to be a decade, anything like that. It's not going to be that short. Look at it. Even Sony, for example, let's look at them. Sony pledges that they want to have a 10-year life cycle with their consoles. If they really stretch it out, yeah, they can do it. Essentially, a 10-year life cycle means we're going to make games on it for 10 years. And I'll tell you this, sports games are incredibly easy to port over. So, technically, PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. In 2023, if they release the new Madden or the new FIFA or whatever it is on that system, that's technically still supporting the system. Yeah, it might not be popular then. There's probably going to be something different. People have moved on, but that's still supporting it. So support is a very rough word with that. It's a rough guesstimate. And if you look at Sony, for example, as I said, I normally look at them because they do the whole decade-long thing. PlayStation 1 came out in 95. PlayStation 2 came out in 2000. PlayStation 3, 2006. PlayStation 4 came out a little bit later, came out 7 years later in 2013. And again, I really think that was because of the whole, economic downturn, the economy, everything like that, because I think we could have seen a PlayStation 4 in 2011 or 2012. Now, granted, as I said, this thing is getting to be about 4 years old right here. I think we really might see some NX stuff at Nintendo's whole E3 thing, their whole Nintendo Direct type thing, this year at E3. I think by the end of this year, we could see some new hardware from them. Definitely next year, we're going to see something. Those are my speculations on it all. And by the way, that's one last thing I want to talk about, by the end of this video, right? It's felt like they've really been anti-consumer with a lot of things. And I want to preface it with this. I actually bought this system because of YouTube. Not because, I wanted to, talk about it here or anything like that. I was able to. I bought it because of YouTube, because I watched a lot of videos of people playing Wii U games, and they looked fun. And that's why I bought the Wii U, because I was like, wow, this system looks really good. You know what the disappointing thing with that is? A lot of content creators really don't use Wii U footage now. Now, granted, you can find that. People are probably going to say, oh, well, what about this person, this person, this person? But I'm saying people like me, general commentators, people like that. That's actually one reason why I don't use my Wii U as much, because I like to get gameplay footage for my channel. All the other systems I can do that, except really the Wii U, because of their whole network on YouTube. You see, something really exploded at the end of that generation and this generation, and that was digital media, video streaming, all that stuff, and especially monetizing content where you could put out videos for free, where people could watch those videos for free, but with ad revenue, the content creator would make money from that, and that essentially turns into free advertisement for this. I mean, hell, some of the first Wii U videos I really remember were people playing this game right here, and this game looked really fun. This actually kind of pushed me to get a Wii U, because I was like, wow, this game looks really fun. I definitely want to pick that up. And then, of course, the benefits, I'm like, well, I could, use footage on this. I can show things on my channel, all that stuff. But then that kind of died off. Because, see, in case you don't know, I'm on a multi-channel network. on this channel. You can go through Google or you can go through multi-channel network. That means essentially Google takes their cut no matter what of my monthly earnings. Then my multi-channel network is going to take a little bit of that as well too. Well, to add on to that, in case that's not complex enough, Nintendo also wants a cut of that money too. Now, if you make Nintendo-related videos and you upload the gameplay to your channel, let's say I do Mario Maker and I upload that gameplay, Nintendo automatically content IDs that video, and then they run ads on it and they make money. So I don't make anything. Then, if I want to make something, I have to go with their partnership program, and they have two tiers. One, I can either partner my entire channel under Nintendo, which I don't want to do because essentially then they kind of censor it because they say, well, your channel has to be mostly Nintendo stuff, you can only play these games, you can't play these types of games, and you can only feature this type of content. So for example, if I'm cussing and swearing a lot, they're probably not going to allow me in there. That's going to be understandable. Or for a lower cut, I could monetize individual videos with Nintendo. So not only they're going to be cutting the money from there, but they're also doing this whole, we want to take everything on there. It's like they, as I said, in the bank, they already have enough. But because of that, it's swayed a lot of people away from uploading gameplay footage on there. A lot of people, you know, like you all might be saying, oh, well, Mr. Mario, it's not all about money. It's not. I mean, that's true. But I also don't like having content ID marks on my channel. So the easiest solution for me is that's fine. I just won't put Wii U gameplay on my channel. That's an easy enough solution, at least from the first-party Nintendo games that are on that list of games, you know, that are going to get content ID'd and everything like that. Now, that's not just for people like me. That's going to be for bigger YouTubers as well. And yes, there are YouTubers that do have immunity or they have deals with Nintendo, anything like that. But with people such as me, where I would say a lot of people do watch, you know, the big YouTubers, of course, but a lot of people are also going to watch these smaller to medium-sized channels as well, too. And that is a lot of not only ad revenue lost because I'm not generating those videos, but that's also a lot of advertisement lost. Now, I'm not saying that YouTube sold this game off like hotcakes, but what I'm trying to say is, I know I'm not the only person that bought a Wii U because I saw, or was convinced to buy a Wii U because I'd seen a good amount of videos, and I'm like, you know, that's actually a pretty cool looking system. And it has some cool games on it. Kind of want that. And I myself, I don't have cable TV, so I don't see advertisements, all that stuff. So this is the way it was advertised to me, through my favorite content creators playing their games. And that was something that was really taken away. And it just seemed like it was really a anti-content creator, anti-consumer approach to that. Because it just seemed like they were wanting everything there. And you know, let's take a step back a little bit. Let's say, you know, there is a game that I'm playing a lot. I don't know, one game that was really popular for content creators, need to find it on here. This game right here, Black Ops 2, or any Call of Duty game. Just insert Call of Duty game here, for example. Let's say Activision came out and they said, hey, we're going to do the Activision partnership program, and let's say I still do, you know, my video commentaries and everything, and I decide to use Call of Duty footage for a bunch of my gameplay. And they say, hey, you need to join our network in order to use any of our gameplay, or else we're going to take all the money from your video. You know what I'll say? Okay, I'm just not going to record any Call of Duty footage. That's it. Now imagine me doing that for an entire console. And it's not just me, because a lot of people who don't make videos might say, oh, that's crazy, that shouldn't prevent you from playing it. But if I have a limited amount of time, I want to play my games, I want to record my footage at the same time, I can't split myself between everything. I can kind of try to. It's not going to be as high quality of a gaming experience, unfortunately. But that's how a lot of people have felt with that. Really, in the end, it's kind of, if you're making videos, if the company's not going to work with me properly, that's fine. I'll just choose to not work with them. I'm still going to own a Wii U, still going to play it, still going to, you know, pick up the games and all that, but I'm not really picking these up because of YouTubers now. I'm not really exposed to all that, and I can't share the gameplay with you all. At least for most of the games, you know, like Splatoon, Hyrule Warriors, anything like that. Can't really do that. That's really been about it with this really long video. I say about it like it was short, but no, I'm sure this clocks in to be a long video. So those have just been my overall thoughts with the Wii U, and I think this is a good video to make as well, too. Due to the fact that normally when I do a console comparison, I do the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I don't really include the Wii U, so this might be kind of my conclusive thoughts on the Wii U, and I might make another video in the future if something big happens or anything like that, but aside from that, I'm not saying goodbye to the Wii U. I'm still going to own it, still going to enjoy it, still going to play it. Do I advise buying one? Not at this time, unless you can get a really good deal on one. But kind of just wait and see what's going to happen. Could there be a system refresh? Could this all be rumors? Could Nintendo really stick to their word and support the 3DS and the Wii U and the NX? I don't know. I really don't think that's going to happen, but we can only see. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone.